talking to us about the status as far as the arbitration proceedings are concerned. We also spoke with the Attorney General, Mukul Rohatgi. Of course, he wouldn't comment on where things stand as far as the arbitration is concerned. We'll get to more from the Attorney General on this matter in just a bit. Now, relief for Vodafone on the tax front, but telecom companies will have to pay out more for the upcoming spectrum auctions. The government has set the reserve price for 3G spectrum at just over 3,700 crore rupees. This was, of course, anticipated because, remember, this was going back and forth between the Department of Telecom and the TRAI. The TRAI had recommended a lower price, which had been rejected by the Telecom Commission. The Cabinet has rejected the telecom regulator, which is the TRAI's call for a reserve price that was lower, and has in fact gone ahead with the Telecom Commission's recommendation. The price is 11% higher than the price set for the 2010 auctions. Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad also hitting out at telecom companies for crying foul over the lack of airwaves, saying that they're running a campaign of trying to project a deficiency or a deficit of spectrum, which is not the case.
Spectrum sharing, a spectrum trading guideline is being finalized. There is a process. It will go to the TRAI, come to us, take a call, then that will also be notified. Therefore, I'm sorry to say, but today I'm constrained to observe that some of the campaign I don't appreciate. Beyond this word, if I can say something as a matter of fun, I think some companies will be the happiest if the telecom minister says that I'm going to settle a spectrum for a free.
Well, that's the Telecom Minister, Sanjay Kapoor, Chairman of MicroMax and the former CEO of Bharti Airtel, joins us. Sanjay, appreciate you joining us. Before I get you to comment on the 3G spectrum reserve price, which I think is pretty much priced in now as far as the market expectations go, let me get you to comment on what the Telecom Minister has to say in terms of a campaign that he says telecom companies are running, claiming that there is a deficit as far as spectrum is concerned. He says that's certainly not the case.
You know, I would not like to challenge any of the things that the telecom minister has said, but speak as a consumer and say that every time I'm trying to establish a data session or every time I'm wanting to make a call, I think the experience has deteriorated and is deteriorating with every passing day in all big cities, and I'm sure the same is the case in smaller towns as well. If that is true, that the spectrum is enough, then I think the government needs to hold up and ask all the telecom companies to be accountable for quality of service, and they need not be paid for this grade of service. So I think clearly if the government is so strongly feeling that there's enough spectrum, I think all the telecom companies have to then be accountable to say, why is the service deteriorating so much? So
are we headed for another battle between telcos and the government, Sanjay?
You know, I think right now companies are more worried about their business continuity. The ones who have got 900 megahertz of spectrum coming for renewal will be more interested in retaining that spectrum, getting it back and continuing with their business. And I think the ones who want to expand their investment and reach on 3G would be vying at this 5 megs of spectrum that is being put on the table. I think they're more busy, fighting their customers and fighting the level of service deterioration and business continuity, and I don't think they have enough room or headroom to pick up another battle.
All right, Sanjay, now let's talk about the 3G base price set higher than what the TRAI had recommended, so the government deciding to go along with the Telecom Commission's recommendations, the DOT's recommendations. Priced in by the market, do you think? Because we've seen this back and forth go on now for a while.
Yeah, I think these auctions, like the previous ones, have a little to do with the reserve price. You know, we saw that in the first auctions 2010, 700 crores per megahertz, but the actual price was more around 3,700 crores. I think in this, it's even worse off on the supply side because only 5 megs are available. So these auctions have to be very dear as well because there's very little spectrum and there are too many serious players who want a piece of that spectrum. So I guess it is a supply-demand issue and it is not a base price issue to me at all.
What is this going to mean now, Sanjay, as far as tariffs are concerned? Because we've seen operators say very clearly that at these levels it's going to be unviable. What happens now at these prices as far as consumers are concerned? Will consumers have to bear the brunt of this?
Look, having been on the other side for many, many years, all I can say is that the cost of producing a fully loaded megabyte is probably more like between 55 and 60 paisa. And when you look at the best operator in the marketplace, he's recovering 27, 28 paisa from the consumer. Well, you can treat spectrum as on a marginal costing basis for 5 megs, but you can't do it for perpetuity. So it's just a matter of time where all these operators will have to begin to charge a fully loaded price from the consumers. And there's no way but the prices of data going up. I mean, I see no other route available because it is not about this 5 meg. It's about the next 5 meg and the next 5 meg, because we have seen the world over, operators with hundreds of megs of spectrum are running out of capacity because data is being consumed like never before in every part of the world, even those countries which have 100% fixed line penetration. India doesn't have any fixed line, so the complete dependence is on wireless. And in a country like ours, I think where the data is progressing so quickly and will do even better with better access, more devices, more applications, more storage, I think, they have to treat, the consumer has to pay for these services eventually if they want a quality grade service to be delivered.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The burden will have to be borne by the consumer. But Sanjay Kapoor, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks very much for joining us with your take on the decision that's been taken by the Cabinet as far as 3G based price is concerned. Up next, the Finance Minister may provide tax relief to the manufacturing sector.